Hi again, welcome back. In a few minutes, David Walliams is back with us, but first, it's a big night for Madonna. She's about to be inducted into the US Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, joining legends like Bob Marley, John Lennon, Elton John, Johnny Cash, Elvis, Buddy Holly, you name it. So it's a really huge honour. Only stars who've been successful for 25 years are eligible. Madonna's been going for nearly 30 now, incredibly, but which Madonna do you prefer? 80s flirty, 90s sexy, or noughties disco? Well, we're going to discuss that in a minute, but first, here's her first ever performance here in the UK, back in 1984 on the groundbreaking music show, The Tube.
From this cast, we give you Madonna!
So that was 1984, and actually Paul... Oh, I should introduce our guest.
Yes,
I'm so sorry.
You go first, yeah.
Because they're all arguing for different decades, you see. Arguing the case for 80s Madonna is stylist Hannah Sandling, backing 90s Madonna is journalist Kathleen Moran, and championing noughties Madonna, although he knows every decade, just Paul. Music journalist Paul Morley. That wasn't a backhanded compliment, don't worry. I was just saying that particular little clip that we just saw, that was at the Hacienda.
It was, yes.
And you were there, weren't you?
Yes, and you could see a lot of us Manx in long raincoats looking very bemused because it seemed like disco, it seemed really odd. So the audience is actually very, very still because we didn't know how to respond to it.
Yeah.
Very peculiar. And she was such not a priority from the record company at the time that the Tube themselves actually had to pay for her to go up to Manchester because the record company didn't think she had much of a future.
You're kidding.
Absolutely.
Jeez. Who are the Beatles?
Well, it was not unlike that. She was almost on an album that Don Was did, a kind of compilation album, and they thought her voice was so high-pitched they replaced her with Ozzy Osbourne. That's how sort of much she had to fight to get attention in the beginning.
Well, look, Hannah, you're going to argue for the 80s.
I am.
Let's have a little compilation of the 80s, and then you can tell us why you think it's better than the 90s or the noughties. Here we go.
Which it's not.
Yeah, she's my favourite from the 80s. No, I think I'm with you, Hannah. I think that was her top decade.
Madonna is the ultimate rock chick. She's kind of like a chameleon, where she kind of sheds her skin and suddenly a whole new person comes out. She kind of reinvents herself, and she has such a huge influence on in the 80s.
But why the 80s over the other two decades? Why have you picked that one?
She was so different. She was so edgy. She was selling sort of sex and religion at the same time. I think she has totally mellowed as she's got older.
You're probably too young to actually remember her, though.
No, I was raiding my mum's wardrobe looking for underwear that I could wear as outerwear. I was like hoovering up all the hairspray I could possibly get so I could sort of recreate really sort of afro frizzy hairdos.
Do you remember some of the network radio DJs were calling her a slut? They were for Virgin.
She sort of looked like it's got a combination between a stripper and a librarian.
But what was interesting at the same time, someone like Prince, of course, isn't. And that's one of the many battles she's had to fight, because if you do what she was doing as a male rock star, you didn't get attacked half as much as she did. She had a number of fights, not you know, not least one of them, the fact she was a woman.
And not least the other one with her eyebrows, which has been going on for 3 decades. Someone with a lot of eyebrow association.
You chose the 90s. You chose to represent Madonna in the 90s. Why?
Well, I think because, I mean, anyone theoretically could get as big and be as brilliant as Madonna was in the 80s, but to then not go completely woohoo in the 90s, when you've got that famous...
Not go completely what, sorry?
Go woohoo. Just go completely nuts and lose it. Like, you know, the other two big solo artists of the 80s were Prince and Michael Jackson.
Artists formerly known as Madonna didn't see that,
Well,
did
exactly,
we?
yeah. Prince decided he didn't have a name and Michael Jackson we know about. But she not only just kept saying, but she decided to up the pressure on herself. That was when she went really outrageous.
All right, let's up the pressure then. It's the 90s. Yeah, you're right. 90s is definitely my favourite decade. Yeah.
No, it isn't. I'm so trying to remember. That was the decade when her sex book came out, wasn't it?
The beginning of yes.
Yeah,
that was one of the periods where she almost flirted with going a bit insane, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But in such an incredible way, I mean, to make yourself that vulnerable, to be a woman and to talk about your sexual fantasies and to reveal that one of your sexual fantasies is having sex with Vanilla Ice, who's got hair like a wedge of foam, and recorded one of the weediest rap singles of all time ever. That's such bravery
was that
to
the
do
decade
that.
she went topless on the catwalk? That was the 90s, wasn't it?
Well, it wasn't topless. There was a small. Did she have little things on her?
No, she was completely bare.
Was
she?
she?
She was.
How
No, she
rude.
was, really. I can assure you.
Just when you think she's slipping away from human reality, so to speak, she does make another great album. And in the 90s, to give the 90s credit, she did make some great albums, actually, albums that you could listen to. In the 80s, very much singles. In the 90s, very much albums. Now, I'm not supporting... What I'm saying, basically, is now, in the noughties, Madonna is all this folded into who she is now.
Okay,
the 80s is there, the 90s is there, and still she is Madonna.
Well,
Composite Madonna. Well, she looks great there, but the press love to point the finger on the long lenses. Oh, look, signs of ageing. Look at the knees. Look at the hands. That's the cruel side.
Well, that's one reason why I'm fascinated by the fact that she still managed to maintain herself as an icon, and she's still learning. She's still adjusting. She's not as surprising and shocking as she was in the 80s and 90s. How could she be? But to an extent, she's not sort of drained away. She's not just become a nostalgic item. She's still very contemporary. She's still working out how to move forward as an entertainer, as an icon. And she maybe not be as playful, as experimental as she once was, but just to survive and sustain and improve right through these difficult years, so to speak, is an extraordinary thing, I think.
Well, thank you all very much. Thanks for picking those clips. They were really good, and congratulations to Madonna. Not that she's in the country. I think she's over there.
So who's won? Who's won it?
Hey?
Who's won?
Are you going to tell us?
Oh, you've all won. You're all winners on this show.
Boring.
Boring. No, seriously, how can you pick?
No, you're right.
Now, look, earlier David Walliams was here. He's back. Here's a fantastic...